I'm Ferdi with 14 years, nearly 3,000 events and a team of 30.
Good morning, my favorite students in the world. It's Ferdi with Event Photography 101, and we're going to be tackling this question or challenge, and this is: direct on-camera flash creates harsh, ugly shadows and flat lighting. The photos look like cheap snapshots. So let's tackle it. We've got 3 points ready for our video, and yeah. Well, let's talk about how they are made in the first place. So when we're using direct flash, that is using our flash and pointing it towards our subjects, we're naturally pretty much always going to create flatter faces. There is less dimension. We're going to be capturing them more like a 2D portrait rather than moving the light around and angling the light and sculpting the light around them to create a 3D portrait of them. Now, my first point here is to go with the flow with it. Now, why did I have that as number one? Well, it depends on your client's goals. So are your clients a bit more on the bougie side, or are they strict with having a very particular style? Because that will determine what you need to do with the photos. This may not even be a problem in the first place if we know what our client's goals are. And so let me give just a few more examples of what I'm talking about. Direct on-camera front-facing flash. These are Groovy drunk dance photos, and we are pointing the flash towards them, as you can see. We are flattening the faces ever so slightly because of the angle of the light. Now, we can capture these Groovy drunk dance photos in a different manner, and that is through bouncing the light. But here, I really wanted to go with a retro vibe, more of a film-esque, Polaroid-esque vibe. And I hope that I conveyed that energy and motion and nostalgic feel through the front-facing flash and the slow shutter speed. Now, not every client will want that, and so they might really complain about it looking like cheap snapshots. So it's up to you. Before the event starts, you need to acquire your clients' goals. What are they after? What do they want? Do they have some story to share, right? Because that will determine whether these types of photos, the feel of these photos, are either going to be acceptable or not. Now let's assume that they are not acceptable, having these Polaroid-esque film retro vibe photos with a front-facing flash. What do we do then? Well, then we go into number 2, and this is all about bouncing the flash. When we have our on-camera flash, when we have our speed light on our on-camera flash, we are pointing the flash towards a wall, towards a ceiling. And it does depend on a few variables, and that is height. So where is this wall or ceiling located? Is it really far away, or is it quite close? That will determine how soft and flattering the light will be on our subjects. Now I'm getting a bit ahead of myself right here, but when we say bounce, we are achieving a 3D type of feel, type of portrait and flash. When we are front facing the flash straight to their faces, we're getting more of a 2D feel. This is all about the 3D feel, and so we are incorporating angles. It literally just comes down to angling the light and angling your subjects to give that 3D pop, to sculpt the light around their features and their face, to give shadows and highlights and gradients. So, height. Why is this important? Well, if the ceiling is high, that means we need to bump up the flash power, okay, to compensate for the distance, to compensate for the distance the flash has to travel. So we're just giving a bit of fuel, okay? When we bump up that flash power, we're giving it more fuel so that it can travel further towards our destination. Our destination are our subjects. Now, if it is close by, we don't need as much fuel. We don't need as much fuel. Makes sense? Cool. All right, well then let's move on to color. Now, why is this important? Well, whatever we're bouncing on, whatever we're bouncing off, it's going to come back with the surface color. It's going, oh my gosh, it's going to come back with the surface color. So be careful, be careful. We don't want blue or red surfaces. Please avoid. Go neutral. Make sure I spell neutral right. Excellent. Because that's going to cast a nice neutral light on our subjects right here. Makes sense? Cool. If we're going to capture and bounce our flash off a red ceiling or a red wall, well, our subjects are going to look a bit red, like they've just been a bit sunburned. So, now we don't, wall and ceiling, wall versus ceiling. Let's have a look here. Let's just bring this in. Cool. Now, we don't always have to bounce off the ceiling. We can also bounce off a wall. And so when we are doing that, we just need to make sure that we are close to the wall beside us. They both can work if neutral and close by. Now, I want to give just a little bit of a tip here. If there are whites, if there are some white curtains, and they can work just as well. Why? Because the fabric is soft. It's soft and it's going to it's going to give a softer feel. Going to give a softer feel. It's a free in-house diffuser. Yeah, so basically, just to sum up with the bounce, height and distance between the walls, the further away the surface we're bouncing off, the more fuel we need to give our flash. And the fuel comes in the sense, and the fuel comes in the manner of bumping up the flash power. Then the color of the surface, we want to have neutral colored surfaces. Why? Because if we're bouncing off a red wall, we're going to come back red on our subject's faces. And wall versus ceiling, they both work as long as they're close and neutral. And if you find some curtains, especially if they're got some kind of like soft fabric, well then that's going to help and aid in softening the light. So when the light does reflect and bounce off the surface, it's going to come onto our subjects' faces and wrap around their faces, their features, their heads, and it's going to give a 3D feel by utilizing the shadows and the highlights. Whereas front-facing flash pretty much negates all of the shadows and removes shadows on their faces. It flattens it out, and we're getting more of a 2D effect, 2D versus 3D. And now we've got two more tips with number 3, and that is all about positioning. We are repositioning our subjects and our external flashes if we have any. Now, the reason being is because repositioning our subjects and external flashes can literally eliminate the shadows that are cast behind our subjects. So, for example, if I had these subjects in front of a wall and I was facing the flash directly towards them, it's going to cast a shadow behind them onto the wall. Now, it just takes a simple prompt and a simple lead. Remember, we are serving our subjects. We're going to offer and recommend them to move to another area. It could be just a couple of feet away or 4 feet away, and we're just going to say, hey, I found the perfect lighting for you. Please follow me right over here, and point directly to the spot. Say, yep, cool, and face this way, point your shoulders over here. And then you can also let them know why you did that in the first place, and that is for the better lighting. It's more flattering on their faces. Plus, we're going to eliminate any distracting shadows behind us. So we literally reposition our subjects to eliminate the shadows. If we can't bounce or anything like that, and we have to use front-facing flash, well, then we can reposition. Now, with the externals, we can also strategically move them around the event to eliminate and direct and point the external flashes to fill in shadows behind our subjects. So let me give some examples of some Bocalicious Candids over here. Okie dokie. So here we are using external flashes, external flash, external flash, external flash. These all help give that 3D look because we are angling it slightly away from our subjects to give more of a light that wraps around them. Now, we can use external flashes in combination with direct front-facing flash, and we do get a bit of a unique effect. We get more of a dance feel, and here we go. I'm just trying to find an example here. Basically, external lights are a cheat code for making your subjects pop out of the frame, and it's just all comes down to angling light. So, my friends, let me sum this up for you. If you are getting harsh, ugly shadows and flat lighting, and your photos look cheap, well, number one, go with the flow. If your client goals line up with this type of photo, the retro, Polaroid-esque, film-esque photo vibe, then number two, if you can angle your flash, we want to bounce the flash off a neutral colored surface, okay? And that is going to soften the light and have the light flatter our subjects like a cloud. It's nice and soft, and it's going to wrap around their faces and features and bring out the 3D feel with their facial features, not 2D, remember? And then number three, we're going to reposition two things: your external flashes, if you've got them, to make them pop. We're using the flash to bring out some edge light, some rim light, backlight, and to bring out their features as well, just like the angling and flash with the speed light. And then number two, we are physically moving our subjects into a better position where no shadows are cast. And that's pretty much it. So I hope that helps, my friends. Remember, physical light and ethereal light. This is our equation: PL times EL equals EP101. Physical light, my friends, the light that brightens your subject from the outside. That is pretty much your flash and your gear. But do not forget, this is the 20% that changes the whole 80%. It's the bridge, okay? The most leverageable thing that you've got in your arsenal of tools, and that is your ethereal light. This is the light that brightens your subjects from the inside. So remember to keep on practicing that. As cheesy and lame as that sounds, it is probably the biggest secret sauce. It is just absolute gold, and that's what has your clients coming back and back over and over because they love you, right? You're their favorite photographer. So my friends, I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in tomorrow's lesson.